Today I want to talk about getting on self-improvement. And I thought today I'd share my story. In around January 2022, 16 years old, I find myself watching self-improvement YouTubers, Hamza to be honest. And I went on this period of, 3 amazing months of self-improvement. But not just the beginning of self-improvement is important, but what was there before I got on was very important. But this story starts, around 2020 to 2021. I think that was when COVID just happened. And prior to COVID, I was always biking around. I was my social circle was starting to bloom. I had friends at the skate park. I was BMXing all day. I would jump out of the house at 7, ride my bike till 5, repeat every single day during the summer. So my life was doing pretty good for like a young kid, like an early teenager. I had an activity to do, I had friends, and I loved doing it. But when COVID happened, I think it hit us all that things started to go downhill. Not just because of COVID, but family issues, and what we'll touch soon is what kind of caused my mental health to decay. When the COVID lockdown happened, I was shut into my room. I would start playing video games more often, and at the time I just got my phone and I was, starting to indulge in social medias and porn and entertainments. Followed by the use of more electronics and locking myself in the room, I lost most of my friends. It's COVID, you're not in touch. I've never been a really good texter. So I lost touch of most of my friends and I was alone again, just on the TV playing video games. That's not that fulfilling. You're chasing that dopamine. I became a dopamine degenerate, chasing it. I used to be a very avid anime watcher and I could finish. So they would have these animes that are like 12 episodes long in a season. I could finish a whole season in one day, which I think is absurd. That's 20 times 12, whatever that number is. I was wasting all that time just watching it, and then I would move on. I could watch 2 full animes in one day, followed by playing video games and just being locked in my room. By closing yourself inwards, that it pushes yourself away from the family. I was away from my family and I stopped loving them. I started resenting them. They're disturbing me. They're annoying. They fight and they argue, and I push myself and lock myself into the room to play video games. Even my sister moved away. My eldest sister moved out of state, far away, and I lost another person I loved. It's like, now she's gone. I think all little things like that started to deteriorate my mental health. I started to kind of physically abuse myself and the people around me. I picked up bad habits. I started smoking cigarette butts and shit like that. It was this degenerate state of bad mental health and chasing dopamine and trying to run away from all the hard work. Prior to this, I was working out outside all the time. I had friends, but now I was in this deepened state of disgust. But when you have a shitty situation like this, like my story, where I fell in indulgence in substances and entertainments and locking myself and running away from the problems, I think that makes you destined for self-improvement. I'm grateful for how shitty my life's been, because that means I've been able to reflect and move onwards. If my life was good, I would not be here right now. I wouldn't have achieved all these great feats. But in September 2021, things got very serious. I won't discuss what happened, but I was at my lowest point in my life that I've ever been. That day was my deepest, darkest hour. But somehow I was pushed into the light, and I was so deeply damaged by that moment. And in a moment of self-reflection, I knew that I had to better myself. The whole time when I was indulging in video games, entertainment, porn, all of that, substances too, I always knew it was bad. I always knew I was better. You always knew you were better than yourself prior when you were doing all the shitty things. And I knew deep down, before I ever found self-improvement, I knew that a few things were just going to help me get out of there. So I turned to the only good things I knew would improve my mental health. Meditation. Believe it or not, my 12-year-old self used to meditate. I wasn't 12 in this story, but so I knew meditation was good for me. I knew working out was good for me. I used to run all the time. I used to bike all the time, like I said. And then screen time. I knew spending my whole day on Instagram, watching anime, porn, all that stupid stuff was bad for me. So in November, I started to really kick off my early self-improvement before I found any of that stuff. And then in 2022, January, I got into self-improvement officially. And I had cold turkeyed 3 months of the happiest time of my life. I finally knew what I was supposed to do. I finally knew the good things and the bad things, and just it gave me a sense of direction and explained it all to me. I want to give you some of the things I learned in my early stages of self-improvement that really helped me change and form who I am now and got me out of that rut. The first thing I want to give you is dopamine detox. Dopamine detox is where you remove, for example, all social medias. You don't use your phone anymore. You don't play video games. You quit porn. All these addictions that you have. Just earlier in my story, I told you how much I fell into that. That's where you kind of turn cold turkey. Nowadays, I do that maybe like weekly. Just the weekends, I go on a little dopamine detox. But for you, you might have to do a first few months of that. For me, I went cold turkey for 3 months, and I really skyrocketed my mental health. I wasn't using any social media. I wasn't looking for entertainment on my phone. I read books. I was active. I wrote. I went to the gym. I did all these things. You know what caused you to get depressed. It was all this time frying your brain on your phone. So cut it out. So go on that quick dopamine detox and realize cutting out all these things, at least cold turkey for the first time, is going to propel you in your direction in life. Another key one is my physical activity. Yes, I started working out a few months before I officially, I'm going to say, announced or started my self-improvement journey. But I became consistent. I made progress. I think the gym is one of the most important things for us men, is because it gives us something to work towards. We see progress slowly, and yet if we look far enough back, we see so much progress. It's a learning experience. And, when I first got in self-improvement, I went on a bulk, and I started working out 4 to 6 times a week, and I had finally something I loved doing that wasn't just playing video games. So I really insist on you getting some type of physical activity in your life, whether it's sports, the gym, some type of martial art. Focus so much of your life onto that, and you'll just be rewarded greatly. Another one is meditation. That was one of the things that I knew that I had to do. These early stages of self-improvement, we kind of forget that it's not just, nowadays it's all business and getting girls, but early on it's your mental health. Getting girls wasn't going to improve my mental health. Building a business or working towards my deeper purpose maybe wasn't going to help my mental health. It was removing all the distractions, that dopamine detox, physical activity, not being locked in my room, and then meditation and some type of journaling. I started gratitude journaling. I should have a video up about that on my channel right now that you can check out. But meditation, you reach this clarity type state where you're no longer distracted. You ever had that feeling where you scroll on your phone and you're just brain dead? The way to counteract that, just like eating clean is counteracting eating, dirty food or bad food, meditation counteracts your distraction. It builds presence in a world of distractions. And that is one of the biggest keys to success in this world, is how much you can pay attention. A few other smaller things was time with my family. I built to resent them in my early stages of my teenager years. And now I go up every morning and I just want to hug my family. I want to hug my mom for everything she's done in my life. Yeah, sometimes, I get pissed off with my family. I don't want to be by them all the time. Sure. But set a day out of the week where you're doing something with them, where you're watching a movie, or you're going out and having occasion or something with them. And being outside was a great one as a step. I don't think I got enough sunlight, enough nature, just a little thing, but you'll be surprised how much that you grow to love nature when you spend time in it, when you're not locked in a room and you can see the greater picture. And this kind of ties into the dopamine detoxes. Quitting porn is another one that kind of ties into the dopamine detox. Just stop, bro. Stop touching your meat, bro. That's just something you gotta do, brother. Just don't. When you quit porn, you start to realize how beautiful women actually are. They're not just objects. You don't hate them. You start to actually, I have sisters. I love my sisters now. Like, I love my mother. I can look girls in the eyes and I don't just have that weird degenerate look in my eyes. And what can be gained from starting self-improvement is feeling happier, to feeling healthier. When you go to the gym and you're outside and you're eating clean and you're doing all the good habits, you're going to feel amazing. You're going to feel healthier. When you find your purpose and direction in life, maybe that's the gym and things to boost your mental health. For me, it's making these YouTube videos, helping my friends, going to the gym, and all these other things. When I work towards my purpose, I feel so happy. And all the other perks of self-improvement make me feel healthier, the gym and all that. And like I said, the first 3 months of my self-improvement journey was one of the most happiest. I cut out all the bad habits, and I purely focused on kind of all those level 1 self-improvement things that I just discussed. You gain a sense of purpose in life. You know what you must do is to be self-improving. And you'll soon realize what purpose actually means and what you can do to align yourself to it. I have a video on my channel about aligning yourself to your purpose, but I do have to make one on how to find your purpose. I gain presence and consciousness, of course, through meditation And I believe that's the key to success, is if you can look someone in the eyes and give them all the attention and conscious and presence that you have stored in your brain. I'm kind of going crazy right now. I've been recording for a long time. But if you can look someone in the eyes and not need to glance away or look at your phone, you're going to destroy the world. You're going to get so many girls with that too. You're no longer a weirdo. You're no longer that kid that's locked in that room, that plays video games, that watches anime, that watches porn all the time. You're a normal kid now. And you can fit in, you can get girls now. And you can look around and maybe realize some of your friends are weirdos. But when you become a greater man, it's amazing. And the last step is with all of this. When you start leveling up, you're going to start getting women. Because right now you were before like this. You were down here in the dirt. You start going to the gym. You start meditating. You start doing all these good habits, look maxing. And you're shooting upwards, and you're going to start attracting women. Just be careful. I mean, you might be a rookie. So learn how to play ball. But that's all that I want to give you. Thanks for listening about my story and all these actual steps I have for you. Hopefully they help. And remember to keep improving.